Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for the gold, silver and palladium price prediction based on Elliott Wave Analysis, and we're gonna start with the gold as usual for the daily here, where we are looking still at our price position below the midline of the acceleration channels. This acceleration channel is representing our wave 3 top here, and we're looking for a wave 4 after it. Normally, to reach the gap between the acceleration and the base channels here, and this gap normally can be hit, of course, in several probabilities, which we're gonna see it later, but very likely also to be an ABC there. Once we finish the three waves down here within the structure of a wave C, we might get a wave B, and then pushing it down within a wave C to hit the base channel and starting a wave 5 toward the upside. This would reflect, of course, a wave 2 there, or a larger wave 2, which it might be, of course, as this long wave there, which is shallow, very shallow. And we might seek after a deep correction here, which is, of course, the wave 4 before we push higher wave 5. So basically, I'm still looking for this wave to be done and finished structurally and internally, of course, on the micro level. We still have a potential one more leg, a 5 of a 1, 2, 3, a 5. We dive inside the daily probability, and as we mentioned in the deep analysis yesterday, we have mentioned have several probabilities here for wave 4. And it can be, of course, starting from there, where we might be in a shallow wave 2 short in time, reflecting or alternating this wave 2, 5. But we have to be careful, of course, for a crossroad here, which it might be another longer correction, which can be triangle or an A, B, and a C here to reach our base channel, as we mentioned previously. This longer correction as a wave 4 might be reflecting this longer wave 2 as well, rather than 2. However, both are at the same area. This is what is a good thing. The only difference that we have is simply timing there, and the timing for this wave 2 here has been perfectly reached in three waves to the downside, meaning if the crossroad will not play as a bearish for a longer correction, sideways or deeper price, we might continue for a new all-time high from this point. Now, what is very nice here is that in any case scenario here that we have any probability, once we finish the structure downward here, one more leg potentially, we might push toward the upside. Whether it is an A, B, and a C, you push for higher. It is a triangle, A, B, C, D, and a E, you push for higher. In case you push with a wave at 5, definitely you will push for higher, meaning the direction of the market might change exactly at this point. In any case, scenario bullish or bearish, sideways or deeper prices for future on. That was it for the daily. If we dive inside the micro level for the 2 hour and 1 hour chart, we are looking here at the three waves toward the downside finish. Wave B given and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 still unfolding to reach potentially our blue zone here, $3,800 in confluence with, of course, larger targets as well. So basically, I would say that this wave 5 is still unfinished, but it can be, of course, something interesting that I mentioned yesterday. So we're going to see if this is going to happen. I'm going to explain it a little bit faster. So basically, we are in a 1 2 1 2, and that because this wave here has touched the previous wave 1. Meaning, if you want to consider a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, well, it's a question mark. Now, I know it is wick by wick touching as invalidation. Sometimes it is questionable. Sometimes it doesn't play effectively, meaning it is there is a probability where you might have finished the five waves down here and then you push towards the upside. Now, how do we know? Of course, I mean we cannot just guess here if it is working or not. The only way to know this is by simply taking the 4,126. Why? Because once this wave 4 invalidates this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, meaning wave 4 is not allowed to interfere with this wave 1. If it does, then we have to finish it. We have to finish the five waves there, whether it is an impulse or an expanding diagonal, since you have, of course, the wave 4 interfering with the zone 1, can be playing also as an expanding diagonal. So two probabilities over there can be finishing this wave 3 there, and we continue the drop towards the downside. Now, currently, I still don't see any signal of strength here for the gold, since we are in a potential expanding diagonal, which is very rare case scenario. I believe that this is kind of like a W, X, and a wave Y. You have a zigzag here internally, and we still look some weaknesses, especially that you took the 4K 42 here, meaning if you are in a 1, 2, 3 here, at least if we were expecting 4 and a 5, the way 4 interfered with the zone 1, no impulse there, no double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And that means, of course, something else is unfolding, very likely to continue the drop downward. That was it for the gold. For the silver, we're gonna take a look also at our channels first before we move inside it on the micro level. So basically, within the silver, we're looking at double 1, 2 here, 3, and then wave 4. As expected, zero point 0.5 has to be taken in 5 waves, and we got 5 waves so far. I'm just looking for the very micro level here to be finishing our trend. Now we are, of course, inside the confluence between the base channel and the acceleration channels here. And we're touching the middle line of this base channel. Very likely to get one more leg and then retrace toward the upside. The structure is done. A, B, and a C, and we might push for higher in, of course, several probabilities. It can be something larger as a correction A, B, and a C before we push for higher, since your invalidation is very, very far. And that creates a large gap for a correction here that it still can be unfolding in longer time. Of course, it depends on the gold, what the gold will influence the silver and other metals. So basically, double 1, 2, 4, 5, 4, 5 are still very, very likely. This wave C is very close to be done, and we might see something pushing toward the upside in any case scenario, because also a new all-time high is a probability there to push, of course, for the acceleration channel again. Now, if we dive inside the probabilities here for the daily, we are looking at the following probabilities where your wave 4 can dive deeper if it wants to as a W, X, and a Y. This is a new probability where you have 3 ways down for a W, 3 ways up for an X, and this impulse represent another ABC zigzag for a wave Y, where you can still reach the $50 exactly for silver, very psychological number. And it can be, of course, something as a larger correction here for a wave 4 invalidation, still very, very far at $35 almost. Before we push toward the upside, we still can dive deeper, especially that you finish this impulse here. You would like to see a wave B, so I'm expecting a little bit of turnover here toward the upside in any case scenario. In case you are bearish, you will need a wave B. In case you are bullish, you're heading for a wave 5. In case for a larger correction, wave A, large wave B, and large wave C. Also, we're heading toward the upside, and that is in confluence as well within the gold. Interesting. So for the 1 hour chart here, we're looking as well for the final move here that we mentioned, a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The wave 5 is also playing here as a potential double 1, 2. So if we dive inside it, we can see that this 1, 2 and another 1, 2, again, the wick here is touching the zone 1, which it claims a question mark as invalidation. But yeah, I mean, we cannot just ignore it. First, we're gonna take it as invalidation, as double 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 4 and a 5 to unfold toward the downside. Otherwise, if this invalidation because of the wick is not to be considered here, which I doubt it a little bit, okay, we can take it as an expanding diagonal finished wave 5. But until we come to this probability and to confirm it, it's not confirmed yet, guys. We need the $63.36, meaning invalidation of this impulse as double 1, 2. So far, I don't see any signal of strength. It is totally the opposite. We have hit our target as an ABC regular flat, exactly the 1.05 as expected, and we start to see a signal of weakness where we might continue the drop toward the downside, very likely to reach at least here the $55, and you might still have a 4 and a 5 where we might reach the extension of a $50 psychological number. That was it for the silver. Finally, we're gonna see the palladium. For palladium, we are looking also for something higher here, expected to push for higher, by the way. And that because, of course, on the 4 hours chart here, we are in a 1-2. So we are in a leading diagonal wave 1, A, B, and a C, expected wave C as an ending diagonal finished. And we're looking for a signal of strength already from our blue box there. And here we are. So we are looking here on the 1 hour chart for palladium for something interesting in several ways, but we gotta be careful from the W, the X, and the wave Y here, where you might still reach anyway the wave 2 as expected, our 0.38 Fibonacci level. Very nice to see it today hit, by the way, because this is a minimum requirement for a wave 2. I believe that this can be finished in a zigzag 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, one more leg before we drop down. So we're gonna test, of course, we're gonna need a signal of weakness, 5 ways down, 3 ways up, taking the low confirmation that we push for something lower. If this doesn't happen and we get like 3 ways down rather, and then we push for high and take also this high as a confirmation, we're pushing for the upside. Yep, so those are the signals that I'm looking for inside the red zone. So one more leg until we get those signals and we decide what the market will do. That was it for the metals, gold, silver, and palladium. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Before you leave, make sure to join our private Discord community. There you will get daily updates faster than YouTube, plus exclusive bonus trading signals for the gold, silver, Bitcoin, and stocks. You can also request one special technical analysis every day and get access even to our only members video on YouTube and also on Discord. And stay ahead, of course, with economic and political news that actually moves the market. And of course, we do regular Q&A sessions so you can get your questions answered directly in the Discord. And of course, if you're serious about leveling your trading, the Discord link is below in the description and in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.